Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kimi are here with Layfilay from Cacophony of Games and Buttons. We're continuing the letter.
Why are you?
Brains.
What?
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 Give me a what?
¿Qué? Just all of a sudden, Prince? It's like, no, he's dead, honey.
That's the most concerned I've seen him look about anything that isn't a gallon of wine.
Or his prize bottle of absinthe. Seeing loose, something snaps back, and I'm able to take a gasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name if the pain still did not rack my body. I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't know either.
It's just like, I mean, on the one hand, he's actually being caring and affectionate for once, but on the other hand, he was just a fucking huge asshole 10 minutes ago.
I would actually have preferred her being hugged by Ghost Lady.
Yeah. Or having her heart ripped out by Ghost Lady. Or just
Both?
not Luke. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms.
Throw her in the basement.
He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here, or perhaps to throw me straight into the wine cellar. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not thrashing on the floor. Pretty sure it's supposed to be thrashing and not trashing.
Yep. Turned down for what?
But I mean, if you want to be a trashy mess on the floor, you go, girl.
It's your house. You can
I'll
do what
join
you.
you.
Same. After about like 2 bottles of wine, thanks.
I was gonna say the wine cellar's right there. We don't even have to move. We could just form a human chain.
A human chain of trash.
Yes.
That's what 4pixels is all about.
Oh yeah,
Trash free.
indeed.
I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet's on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my own tongue stops feeling like cotton. Sounds
As
like
much as I hate this scene, I love the artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's really
pretty.
good.
How
If
dare you
Luke
even
wasn't
feel
there-
for this douchebag?
The shoujo bubbles.
Just imagine that it's either Marianne or Zack.
Yes, excellent.
There's the fan art.
God damn it. It's only now that I can feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A coughing racks my body, now that I don't feel like choking.
It was actually coughing there, and I thought it was one of you guys, and I was gonna be very concerned.
We all know it's Tori. It's fine.
Exactly, it's just me dying over here, it's fine. And it just all feels so terrible. Horrible. Terrible and horrible. Both. But I don't care. I don't care.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I'm not opening my mic as I scream, you fucking did it.
Yeah, right.
It's all right. You're safe now, Hana. You're safe now.
Dot 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 dot.
Well,
Oh.
Well, now we're into Zachary.
So who's Zach?
So we should probably read that last journal entry.
True.
I don't think that. Alright, here we go.
Hannah calls Rebecca Gales, hoping to catch up with an old friend. The talk gets interrupted by a horrible clicking and the cry of a woman from the wine cellar.
Dun dun dun.
And
Dun, dun,
Kime,
dun.
you will be Zack since I believe Marianne's next and Buttons wanted to do her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but yeah.
The second that left my mouth, I was like, oops.
You realize if we continue with that pattern, because has anyone
Ouch.
claimed Rebecca, Ashton, or Luke?
Nope.
So if we continue with that pattern, that means Coco's gonna end up being Rebecca. I'm gonna end up being Ashton, which I'm fine with. Weirdly enough. But that means Kime's gonna get stuck as Luke.
That's fine. It's a fate she deserves.
It's fine, I'll be the asshole. I mean, I get Zachary and Luke, so I'll
True.
even out.
He gets to the best
Exactly.
and the worst.
Literally the best character and the worst character at the same time.
To maintain a balance in the universe.
Alright, I guess I shall do the journaling this time. Zachary Zach Steele. March 20, Pisces, 31 years old. 6 foot, 183 centimeters, freelance, photographer, American, agnostic, diploma in digital films, likes pie, photography and filmography, documentaries, cooking, acoustic guitar, video games.
He's made
Yo.
for me.
Yeah, man-made
Yeah.
for all of our own hearts.
Before his parents' death, he lived in New Jersey where his family owned a diner and bakery. He and his
No, not
older
Jersey.
sister were orphaned due to a hate crime. Aw, fuck.
Oh
No! No!
Oh, yeah,
Dead parents and a hate crime, no!
And they were forced to move to England where their grandparents lived. He had loved cooking and helping out with their old diner, but grew lazy and disinterested after the incident. It did not help that he was one of the few blacks in a predominantly white community at the time. His passion for the visual arts was sparked when he found old Polaroids and home movies of his parents. Freelancing helped pay his rent, but the man had set his sights on the indie film scene. It was during the creation of his first documentary that a robbery occurred and Ashton was there to investigate. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time led to Zachary being placed as a suspect, but the rookie detective helped him clear his name.
The pleasant aroma hits me long before I cross the how do you use threshold?
Threshold.
Threshold?
Yep.
Okay. That word that Coco said. Faint, but light and warm. A reminder of what home is. Past the stare but commanding gaze. Matt's tender smile. The sunlight filtering through the eaves in the morning. And the distinct smell of cinnamon and vanilla as it drifts through the air every time something cooks from the room. Their room. Our room. Man past pride and joy. My sister and I too, eventually. But we ain't allowed there. Not yet. Not until we're taller or older. Not until we've learned how to take care of ourselves and not burn our hands or reach the cupboards without having to be lifted.
But a little peek wouldn't hurt, yeah?
The floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is. The walls more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Mass singing ceases, and Pa.
No, please wait. I'll
No,
be good. I'll
baby.
sleep on time.
no.
Don't go.
No. I can't hear Pa. Not above the
Rock, raucous?
ruckus clanging and the deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There is only the blinding fear. When my foot sleeps, the red sea that catches me is bitter and frigid, but the blood that drips in my hand is warm, warm, warm. It ain't my blood. The walls tumble and everything goes quiet. It takes a few moments for everything to fall into place, for my eyes to adjust to the relative darkness of the room.
It's a very nice apartment.
Eee.
Yeah, it's real nice. I like it.
I'm so sad about little baby Zachary.
Oh, be ready to be sadder. I've seen
God.
some
No.
I've seen some dialogue and I'm just like, no. Despite the pleasant chill the AC brings, my shirt is clinging tightly to me, and my blanket a tangled mess around my throat.
I just hope we don't go down the path that Kimi's sister did.
Oh, I hope.
Kime's sister, the heartless monster.
I'm sure she didn't try to. Or did she?
No, of course not. How dare you make those accusations? Morning has not even arrived, and yet
Way too early for this thing, man.
and too long. Too long since the last I woken up and drenched in my own sweat, head littered with thoughts that are gone as soon as my eyes open. All too often, only imprints and brief images are left to haunt me for the rest of the day, or until my mind forgets about it.
Egad.
Thank you. Egad, whichever comes first. What does that mean?
It's just like an exclamation, like, like from,
Yikes.
yeah, pretty much.
Like what?
Yikes.
Ah, okay. Yet vivid or not, what little I can remember does not matter. Regardless, the desperation sticks, climbing up, pushing, urging me to relive every moment, every sensation, and there's a twinkle in Ma's eyes when she looks up from her work, floor dusting her nose and cheeks. The scent of freshly baked bread wafts from the oven as soon as Pa opens it, and the homely fragrance of honey fills the room. He reaches up to wipe the small bits of sweat away from his forehead before gesturing for me to come closer the moment he spots me on my little hiding place behind the door. I expected him to be angry, but his pat on my back when I come within his arm's reach is encouraging enough. We'll have to taste this first before we put it up for sale tomorrow. You up for it, little man? Is it good enough? A knock cuts through the air before I can answer. Sharp, heavy, demanding, familiar. So distantly familiar. Ma ushers me out at the kitchen when Pa moves to answer it. But I know. I know what awaits outside. The taste of blood in my mouth sends an unpleasant churning in my gut. Ma's apron crinkles under my tight grip. Something snaps back into place. My bedroom ends in an utter disarray. The walls still need a new paint job, and the wall clock ticking opposite my bed is as unsettling as ever. Ash is right. I should have already replaced that when I had the chance.
You're no longer there, Zachary. Here and there are miles apart. Calm down. Breathe.
The pressure of my own fingers against my temple is a welcome sensation over the anxiety gripping me.
I'm glad that fictional Jersey is as bad as real Jersey.
It never really did anything to stave off the headaches sure to follow after this before, but it grounds me. A little reminder that I am safe, away from the place I once called home, from man past. The urgency with each rap that follows finally chases away the ghosts threatening to hang around.
Foreshadowing?
Why anyone thinks it's a good idea to knock at someone else's door this late confuses me. Nana will chase them all away with a broom if she was here.
And I with a knife.
God damn it, Coco.
But no matter, it's a welcome break from the thoughts about to take a morbid turn if left festering. It's probably just Ash anyway, looking for a place to freelo crash.
Lol.
Looking for a place to crash. Wonder of wonders why he's bothering with the courtesy when he never did so before.
Mm,
Even with that hunch, though, it would compels me to check who it is first through the peephole. Better safe than sorry, they say. Except the person that greets me on the other side ain't him. Unless his hair grew longer overnight and he started wearing a ponytail, of course. Which I hardly doubt will happen anytime soon, no matter how funny that looks in my head.
It's Isabel.
Excuse me?
it's Isabel.
Say that again?
It's Isabel. Or Isabella.
It's Isabella.
Isabella!
Great, I'm turning into Hannah.
Yes.
It's darling little Lily.
Oh, Lord.
I waste no time opening the latches.
Oh, wait, what date are we on? We're starting on October 17th. Or
Yeah, back at the beginning.
Oh,
wait,
I
that
didn't.
may not necessarily be the day that we're starting on. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't see a
didn't
journal update.
You could always check the backlog to see if it pinged with a date, because it usually does in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah. Whatever.
Isabella, it's late.
Oh, this might actually be.
Dun dun dun.
I was so worried that we were gonna like immediately start with Ghost Lady on the other side of the door.
Immediate QTE.
Yeah.
Looking through the peephole. There's something I can't quite pinpoint in her eyes when she looks up. Her face a pallid shade, shoulders tense, breathing heavy, and an uncontrollable shaking in her hands she's trying to hold back. Hide, if I didn't know any better.
Hey, Zach. Sorry. I know it's weird for me to show up at this hour, but you were the closest to my office, and
No. It's perfectly fine. I'm not really working on anything right now. Do you want to come in?
is it all right? I know you should be sleeping at this hour, but I thought... I'm sorry, I just thought... I have no idea why I went here. My feet just moved on their own after I got out of the office, and... Sorry.
She trails off, her voice lost in the muggy night air. I wait for her to say more, but instead, her only response is a downward shift of her gaze, back to her still trembling hands as if the motion alone is enough of an explanation. A minuscule gesture. Easy to miss if one is not paying attention. But for someone who has seen the same expression on the mirror, done the same thing too many times when night terrors are inevitable, it is not.
Hey, don't worry about it. At least you not. Ash just barges in and crashes on the couch whenever he feels like it. I swear that guy is one fine hairline away from being a creep.
True friendship.
Indeed.
Indeed. Without waiting for her answer, I step away from the door and saunter over the kitchenette. For a few good seconds, only the clinking of the plates can be heard above the constant tick-tock. Late as it may be for a snack, the familiar motions keep me occupied, steering my mind away from dangerous thoughts.
With that, we will go ahead and end this episode right here. We are on the 3rd chapter of this game,
Woo!
I'm very
Hey.
excited.
Nice.
Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think the less we mention this thing, the better. You're required to wear that today, by the way. No, I'm not. Nope. Just for a little bit. No. Oh, I think you should. I closed the bathroom door behind me. Achievement unlocked, Pumpkin Patch Kid. I can't get that uniform off fast enough. Mostly because the bow got stuck. It never felt so good to be back in my trusty old digs. I opened the door and Reese and Finley have already scattered. I don't know where the uniform is supposed to go, so I leave it folded up on the bathroom sink. Reese, you have some weird kinks, buddy. Actually, no, they're not weird at all. But you are pretty forward about them. I guess I should find where Landry ran off to. He's training me today after all. I think he went upstairs. Didn't want to relive the trauma, poor thing.